knocking over my wife.
Tom Hanks and Rita Wilson were recently photographed in what appeared to be a seriously intense moment. It looks like they were in a heated argument with a film festival staffer, which has left many people in disbelief. They seem like such a nice couple, but who they are underneath the surface might leave you completely shocked. Overall, Tom and Rita have a pretty astonishing reputation. Their marriage has lasted 35 years, which is almost unheard of in Hollywood. They're also usually talked about in high regard and generally thought of as amazing people, but their picture-perfect image might actually be too good to be true. In photos from the red carpet at the Cannes Festival, Tom and Rita looked incredibly upset while talking to a staffer. Their glaring looks and unwavering eye contact made it seem like they were so angry for some reason. But there was something else that was impossible to ignore. Tom and Rita looked like they were both leaning toward the staffer, even though they were already very close together. Not to mention their hand gestures and how they were pointing their fingers appear to be intensely aggressive. Based on how emotionally charged Tom and Rita seem to be in the photos, it's hard not to jump to a conclusion about their crazy body language. It really looked like they were treating the festival staffer poorly. If that's the case, it wouldn't be the first time Tom and Rita were documented arguing or going off on people. Just last summer, Tom and Rita were filmed making their way through a small crowd of excited fans in New York City. The couple was headed toward their car when one man slightly stumbled into the person in front of him. What happened next was honestly unbelievable. Because of the chain reaction, one of the people who had lost their footing ended up bumping into Rita. She screamed as her knees buckled, but thankfully she didn't totally fall. She looked toward the crowd and firmly yelled at them to stop. But Tom's reaction was so much more intense. Tom turned around and actually put his hands on a couple of the guys in the front of the group. He pushed them back a little bit while cursing and shouting at the crowd to back off. Rita got into the car, but Tom still wasn't finished letting their fans know how upset he was. Tom stopped walking and just stared angrily for a few seconds at everyone. Then he yelled at them again for knocking over his wife. Finally, someone who appeared to be from his security team directed him toward the car. The crowd looked absolutely stunned. Rita had also landed herself in hot water for how she treated people and handled her emotions. In January 2020, she was getting ready to attend the Golden Globes, but her preparations didn't exactly go according to plan, and she was seriously unhappy. It turns out a member of Rita's hair and makeup team was running late that night. She was posting updates about the situation on Twitter, and she was getting more annoyed as the evening went on. Rita definitely made it very clear that she was extremely unimpressed. However, Rita's followers weren't too pleased with how she was shaming the person from her glam team. Many of them acknowledged that lateness is frustrating, but the problem wasn't severe enough to justify how upset she was. But that wasn't the only problem her angry tweets caused. A surprising amount of celebrities responded to Rita's tweets and wanted to know who the hair and makeup person was. With as many people that got involved in the glam team drama, that person's entire Hollywood career could have been at stake. What if there had been an accident or some kind of family emergency? Rita hadn't heard from the person she was putting on blast. The fact that no empathy was shown was honestly pretty crazy. Some of Rita's Twitter followers slammed her for creating a messy situation out of what they called a first world problem. Others couldn't understand why she was stressed so much and live tweeting her feelings instead of just getting ready on her own. On the other hand, not everyone views Tom and Rita's angry moments the same way. When Tom lost his temper with a group of swarming fans last year, a lot of people actually praised him for the outburst. This was seriously unexpected. Many people thought that Tom was only protecting his wife from potentially getting trampled by the crowd. They pointed out that before Rita got bumped and started to lose her balance, the video revealed a truly important detail. In the clip, Tom could be seen attempting to move around several clingy fans as he tried to catch up with Rita. He was being slowed down by everyone who wanted selfies with him, but still, he didn't lose his cool until his wife was almost knocked over. And as for Rita's Twitter meltdown, some people have a really understandable opinion about it. Some of Rita's followers explained her tweets as a lapse in judgment, just like everyone has had before. Just like Tom was pushed over the edge in the video, people came to Rita's defense by simply saying that she's human and makes mistakes sometimes. The perspective of celebrities being just like everyone else is apparently what Tom wants people to remember as well. He even tried to explain it recently by making a mind-blowing confession. Tom just revealed that he's behaved badly on the set of his movies before. In a new interview with BBC News, he talked about his startling actions in the past. Apparently, he's acted exactly like the characters from his recent book, The Making of Another Major Motion Picture Masterpiece. This is so bizarre. Believe it or not, Tom's novel was actually inspired by his own on-set actions. He explained during the interview that nobody can always be on their best behavior. He even gave examples, and they were seriously surprising. In his own words, Tom admitted to being a train wreck, a crybaby, and having an inflated sense of self-importance in the past. But based on what people have said about working with Tom, those instances must have been extremely rare. Aside from last year when Tom blew up at the crowd who knocked over Rita, he's been remarkably free of any major scandals. Not only that, but it seems like he's usually one to come clean and apologize for the mistakes he's made in the past. Rita also recently spoke out, and what she had to say was astonishing. Shortly after the seemingly incriminating photos of the couple lashing out at a staffer were published online, Rita cleared the air. She shared a screenshot of one of the many accusatory headlines regarding the photos to her Instagram story, and the caption she attached was honestly unreal. Rita explained that the situation between her, Tom, and the staffer wasn't what it looked like. Apparently, people around them were screaming and they couldn't hear what the man was saying, and the reason behind the intense pointing actually made a lot of sense. Rita claimed that the staffer was trying to tell her and Tom where they needed to go next, but because of the noise level around them, they were using hand gestures to signal which direction to go. But that's not all. Shockingly, the staffer, who's since been identified as Vincent Chaplin, also set the record straight. He posted on Twitter that Tom and Rita were just wondering if they should return to the area with the rest of the film crew. I guess he really was telling them which direction to go. Maybe Hollywood's power couple truly is super polite and innocent overall. They definitely looked heated and had seemingly aggressive body language in the photos, but after the update from Vincent himself, it seems like Tom and Rita are basically in the clear. It's tough to know exactly what happened in every incident involving Tom and Rita, but for now it sounds like they actually did have good intentions in the film festival photos. As for the past, maybe they truly were having bad days, like everybody else does at times. Tom and Rita's previous incidents seemed insane at the time, and we might never know the actual truth behind them, but it's also highly likely that there wasn't any kind of outrageous scandal behind them either. But anyway, what do you guys think? What do you think about Rita's explanation for her and Tom's bizarre body language in the recent photos? What are your thoughts on Tom's outburst last year and Rita's Twitter meltdown? Let me know in the comments below.